Hi, this is Michael from the Round Number One YouTube channel. In yesterday's upload, I mentioned Kevin Castle Scondato, a well-known wrestling personality who passed away unexpectedly at home on April 7th, 2025. His passing has left a void in the wrestling community, underscoring the importance of seeking medical help and helping support friends and family. I highlighted the need for all of us to manage health issues, especially for individuals like Kevin who struggled with diabetes. The loss of Kevin Scondato serves as a reminder of how fragile life can be. My message hopefully encouraged everyone to take care of themselves and stay close to their loved ones. What I forgot to mention is how influential Kevin Castle was to me. I wouldn't have created Round Number One or gained the confidence to record myself talking about wrestling and upload it to YouTube if it weren't for Kevin's contributions to the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show, which I've been listening to since high school. I said this before and I'll repeat it. The Don Tony and Kevin Castle show is among the top 3 wrestling-based, opinionated broadcasts alongside Live Audio Wrestling and Wrestling Observer Radio. Don Tony and Kevin Castle stood out because they understood they would never be a part of the wrestling industry. They didn't hold back on discussing topics that would be considered taboo for those wanting to maintain professional relationships with the WWE and be seen as credible media personalities. Their honesty often angered many well-known wrestling personalities, and Hulk Hogan could have sued them had they followed through with their plans to create a website that would expose him as a problematic person. One day, I emailed Don Tony to express my interest in starting a podcast because I resonated with their views on professional wrestling. I didn't contact Kevin Castle directly because he seemed less involved in production than Don Tony. Don Tony replied with helpful information about his recording equipment and software, mentioning that I could use my smartphone to record audio with stereo quality sound. Most importantly, he advised me to keep recording and not give up. He assured me that I would find my voice along the way. 2 weeks ago, Don Tony reminded his viewers on his free Sunday night solo show on YouTube that Kevin had recorded a 5-hour solo show on Patreon. I'd forgotten that for the past 3 years, Kevin Castle had been recording his own solo show that's behind a paywall by himself and then sending the files to Don Tony for final touch-ups. Kevin also took questions via email to answer personally or address questions on the show. On the day that Kevin passed away, I was absent from social media. I had planned to watch Monday Night Raw after finishing work and then listen to the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show while getting ready for bed. When I heard the news of Kevin's passing, my heart dropped. I regret not reaching out to him at least once to share how influential he was to me in pursuing my dreams of discussing wrestling and to ask him for advice on improving my YouTube channel to share my opinions on professional wrestling. Kevin would have responded with a wealth of knowledge because it was only after his death that I learned he was incredibly generous when people asked him for advice. His insights and kindness inspire me, reminding me to be open and helpful to others as he was. I strive to honor his memory by sharing what I've learned and passing on his spirit of generosity. You can listen to the Kevin Castle archive on wrestling-news.com and access his years of solo shows through the Don Tony and Kevin Castle Patreon page. There's also a link on wrestling-news.com for that. Okay, so let's get on with the usual topic here in Round Number One, professional wrestling. As always, our uploads on YouTube are timestamped for your convenience, allowing you to skip ahead and listen to what interests you. So we're just 6 days away from WrestleMania 41, and I have some concerns from a creative standpoint. While I'll be watching, I've heard that we can expect about 9 hours of live main roster programming each day, not including NXT Stand Deliver that Saturday morning, which takes place next Saturday. The pre-shows for both nights of WrestleMania will consist over 3 hours of previously recorded content mixed with live segments. This seems intended to reshape the perceptions of those who believe this has been a road to WrestleMania filled with lazy creative thinking. To summarize my opinion on WrestleMania 41, the card features too many uninteresting mid-card and main event matches. The recent Road to WrestleMania European Tour, a crucial part of the build-up to WrestleMania, felt like an unnecessary stall of storylines before WWE returned to the United States. Did we need 4 weeks to tell a story and create moments to add Rhea Ripley to the World Championship match? Not especially, since it took Raw GM Adam Pearce just a few minutes to include Rhea in the match once they returned to the United States. Why would anyone be interested in Chad Gable's ridiculous American luchador gimmick as El Grande Americano against an aging Rey Mysterio? The storyline involving The Rock, John Cena, Travis Scott, and Cody Rhodes is riddled with holes, as is the feud between Naomi and Jade Cargill. Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship has been a failed example of Triple H's storytelling, and Jey Uso is not even headlining WrestleMania anymore, especially with Jey Uso being the 2025 Royal Rumble winner. Now, I'm pretty sure we all expected this week's programming leading up to WrestleMania to be epic. It ended up being disappointing, leaving me less excited about the show that I'll be watching, that I have already pre-purchased with a gift card that will provide me with monthly to pay for this upcoming monthly Netflix subscription. This week there was no John Cena, no Travis Scott. The Rock wasn't there. I believe Roman Reigns wasn't even on SmackDown. Nothing exciting from CM Punk, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins. The competitors in the WWE Women's Championship match and the World Heavyweight I always say World Heavyweight when it's the World Women's Championship. Just nothing. I'm sure many of you share my disappointment in this lackluster build-up to such a significant event. Now, regarding Tiffany and Charlotte Flair, can you believe some people thought they went off script a week ago on SmackDown? It's important to remember that professional wrestling, what Vince McMahon calls sports entertainment, is predetermined. Let's indulge in a little history of the WWE. Now, believe it or not, everything you've seen on WWE television since 1997 has been predetermined, except for the 1997 Survivor Series matchup between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. That moment was generally unscripted when Bret Hart spit in Vince McMahon's face after being legitimately screwed over. The cameras were purposely kept on Bret so that McMahon could showcase the footage the next day on Raw to portray Bret Hart as the villain. Just as McMahon blurred the lines between reality and fiction, his son-in-law, Paul Triple H Levesque, as the current chief content officer of the WWE, will do the same. At no time did Tiffany or Charlotte Flair shoot on each other. The whole promo was predetermined. The feud between Flair and Tiffany was losing steam, and something needed to be done. That promo successfully reinvigorated interest in the feud. Then I heard they tried to replicate it before his SmackDown this week in a social media only angle, but it didn't catch on like what was broadcast last week on the USA Network and also on Netflix. The whole CM Punk situation regarding the favor demanded that Paul Heyman be in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania, which feels creatively lazy. Now, hear me out. The match is set for WrestleMania with CM Punk facing Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Knowing he owes a favor to CM Punk, Paul Heyman decided to be political and put in a stipulation that would make CM Punk very happy. Thanks to Paul Heyman, this match is now considered a main event at WrestleMania, regardless of when it takes place during the weekend. This means that Jey Uso, who won the Royal Rumble, is denied his World Championship match being a main event. That's a huge favor that Paul pushed for Punk, but it wasn't the favor Punk originally intended to request from Heyman. Instead, Punk wanted Heyman in his corner, which sounds ridiculous. Now Seth Rollins is also demanding that Paul Heyman owes him a favor. Seriously, how convoluted is the storyline getting? El Gran Americano has a match at WrestleMania 41 when the focus should be on crafting compelling narratives that truly resonate with the fans. It feels like the creative team is playing it safe instead of taking bold risk that could elevate the storytelling. As we approach WrestleMania 41, I hope that the event delivers memorable moments and matches that ignite the same passion we all have for this sport. It's crucial that WWE taps into the enthusiasm of its fan base and creates experiences, moments that will be talked about for years to come. In the meantime, I encourage you all to share your thoughts on the upcoming event and let me know what matches you're most excited about or concerned about in the comment box below. Remember, it's our collective voices that add value to this wrestling community we share. I want to highlight that WrestleMania 41 will be the final WrestleMania under the current Peacock deal. This time next year, fans in the United States could be watching WrestleMania 42 and all other following premium live events on Netflix, or perhaps everything will remain on Peacock for the next 5 years. Personally, I believe that WWE will exit the Peacock deal, and I suspect that next week we'll see an announcement indicating that WrestleMania 42 will exclusively air on Netflix. This is possible because WWE can contractually offer WrestleMania 42 to Netflix separately before a new PLE deal is established. The WWE Hall of Fame will be broadcast live on Peacock and various social media channels that WWE is on sometime a few hours after SmackDown airs this Friday. I don't have much to say other than the two members of the Clique and a member of the BSK, two different groups of backstage wrestlers from the 90s, are co-producing this Hall of Fame ceremony. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker essentially collaborated to ensure Triple H's induction. In return, Triple H allows The Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, to enter the Hall of Fame and lets him induct her. Additionally, Shawn Michaels will induct Triple H. To me, it seems like a mutually beneficial agreement between the three individuals. As for the natural disasters, their induction was planned behind the scenes since last year's Hall of Fame ceremony, and both Triple H and Nick Khan were determined to include them regardless. Regarding Lex Luger, it's hard to ignore that Vince McMahon's decision to overpush Luger without making him the WWF champion is considered a significant misstep, in my opinion. So since this is a current news opinionated program, I don't want to dwell too much on my childhood and adult thoughts about Luger, other than to say he was a great performer. Diesel had a lousy reign as WWF champion for about, I think it was 8 or 9 months, yet he never reached the level of significance that, in my opinion, that Luger had. It's perplexing that Vince would ask the audience to choose between Bret Hart and Luger, as he seemingly undermined Luger's career in the WWE single-handedly. The WrestleMania 13 match between Bret Hart and Steve Austin has been inducted as the first match into the WWE Hall of Fame. It was a great match and still holds up over time. If you haven't seen Bret and Austin discuss the match on the WWE Network when they existed, you can find their conversation on the WWE Vault page on YouTube, and it's a riveting discussion. I'm just excited to hear Austin and Bret talk about this match again in 2025 when they accept this honor. Austin will be inducted for the second time, and for Hart, I believe this will be his third induction. Okay, so That's it for today's upload, a short upload. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into this episode of Round Number One. Let's keep the memory of Kevin Castle alive by continuing to support each other in our passions and endeavors. Take care, and I'll catch you all next time.